Oh, by the way, that guy Tiger Woods, who designed the place, that name is kind of a nice thing, a little bit of a big deal. The PGA Tour in its history has given more money to charitable causes than the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NHL combined.
We won.
Aha, well done.
No, because my handicap was too high. And then
Maybe because your handicap was so
because
high.
my handicap was so high.
There you go.
And I had a good day.
There you go. You please knock it out of the park.
I'm not a mentalist, but your lips were going together, so it kind of looked like you were going to say Ben.
No.
No.
Controversy, ask away.
Am I allowed to ask the controversial?
Of course.
Okay, we might have to
That's
stop.
what people want to hear.
Welcome to ModPod with Fukunaga, a podcast that celebrates the strength and pulse of the luxury market. And now, here's your host, Vanessa Fukunaga.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of ModPod with Fukunaga. And today's special guest is Joe Mazzeo, that I nicknamed you in the car, by the way, the Maz.
I love it.
Okay. Who is the tournament director of the WWTC, which is the Worldwide Technology Championship of Golf, right here in Los Cabos, Mexico, in Diamante. He's also the VP of Operations for Golf and Events for Wasserman. So welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a treat to be together.
Again.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said, when I saw you again, I said, do you remember? Do you really remember?
Absolutely. I remember playing at Mayakoba. It was all those years ago. I don't know how many it was.
Oh my God, did you hear that? No. He said, I remember playing at Mayakoba. Which means he doesn't remember playing with me. I was the bad player that
Trust me. There's a reason I organize the professional tournaments and I don't play in them, because I'm right there with you. Props for the high handicappers. It's all good. We had a great time.
Props for the high handicappers. You must now remember me.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's start out with a little toast. If you don't mind, by the way, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For this amazing event. We're so excited to have this here for the first time in Cabo.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud. Now, this tournament has been in Mayakoba, though, for how long? How many years?
So the PGA Tour first arrived to Mexico in 2007. It was the first year that the tour had ever played an event outside of the United States or Canada. So our event made history back then. Of course, celebrated in the Riviera Maya for 16 years. With so much going on in the world of golf, the tournament sought out a new home, and here we are in Los Cabos. Of course, we come across Diamante when we began looking, and absolutely fell in love with the place. So the first year of what will hopefully be many in Cabo and at Diamante, playing El Cardinal, of course, the course designed by Tiger Woods, the first that he ever designed, an absolute gem of a venue, spectacular hospitality, spectacular clubhouse, food, drink, accommodations. We really found an incredible spot for everything that goes into one of these PGA Tour events, more than just the golf itself, but everything that goes around it, and just the culture of golf in Cabo, the passion. There's just so much going in our favor that we're excited about this new era and this new challenge out in front of us.
So are we, by the way, as locals in Cabo. Even though we're global, our audience is global because we have all of our, I would consider us, I'm a local, been here local for 12 years now.
Beautiful.
So local. But we also have a lot of our audience and homeowners are from other places in the world. This is their second, third, fourth, fifth home. They're homeowners here in Diamante. And so, a couple of my good friends actually I have lots of friends here, but that own a big construction company here and own multiple homes here. I mean, it's just a really great place to live and work.
Absolutely.
And why did you pick Cabo out of all the different places that you could have picked after Mayakoba?
Well, I think there's a lot that goes into a PGA Tour tournament and what goes along with it, more than just the golf, like I was saying a moment ago. And to your point about being a local and living and working here, I too am now a local Cabo resident. So our whole staff, obviously running these events, is a year-round.
Oh my God. I was having a heart attack because I own a real estate company. I was having a heart attack.
No, not quite yet. So we're renters. We're still renters, not quite owners.
Good. We want you to be local.
But that's what we found. Our whole staff comes here. This is a year-round operation to run the event and get it set up and get it built. So I've now relocated him here, and I'm thrilled to be here. Doing a little bit more of the working than the living right now, that we're only 2 months out from the event. But as soon as we get through this first tournament, cannot wait to truly take advantage of Cabo and get to know all the areas and around and truly explore. Because you're absolutely right about what you're saying. I'm already seeing that. The diversity of attraction that is here, from the gastronomy, the golf, the activities, the water, everything. But also getting into what you said about your audience, the homeowners. we, in the short time that we've already been here, have had this incredibly warm reception from Cabo. Whether that be from the people here at Diamante that are members that are thrilled that their club is going to host the PGA Tour and have the eyes of the world on their golf course, El Cardenal. Whether that be from the other golf courses that are here in Cabo, there's been this incredible sense of a rising tide floats all boats. The eyes of the golf world being on Diamante and El Cardenal, realizing what a great golf destination Cabo is, that's a good thing for the other golf courses in the destination. Our friends at Fiturca, Visit Los Cabos, have also recognized that and are very proud that the destination itself, not just Diamante, but the entire destination of Cabo and Los Cabos is the host for this venue. And so we've felt such a warm reaction from people that want to get involved, whether that's purchasing sponsorships, getting involved in purchasing into the Pro-Am, attending through VIP hospitality, working as a volunteer. We'll need about 600 people to come out and work as volunteers to make this thing go off great. Spreading the word, just generating that excitement, that energy to their other people that, when you have a house here, you live in paradise. People come and visit you all the time. We got a lot of people saying, oh my gosh, all my guest rooms are going to be full the week of the tournament because people are coming to visit us. And that's really what we're looking at, is to put Cabo on the map. It already is, we know. But the PGA Tour, in terms of golf, just takes it even to a whole nother level with that visibility through the global television broadcast, through all the people that come, through the media that's here, all the sort of buzz that it creates, but also creating that energy, creating that excitement so that everybody that comes says,
I'm going to burst.
Wow,
keep going.
Wow, what an exciting week. What an awesome thing. All the stuff that goes on with it. So that's really what we're all about, is just generating that, getting the buzz, getting the attention, making sure the whole world is taking notice and seeing Cabo through the eyes of the PGA Tour, through the lens of the PGA Tour. But then at the same time, everybody that's involved and a part of this, just having an incredible experience, incredible week, enjoying what we all know Cabo has to offer, which is the best of the best.
Oh my gosh. Do you see who now has a new podcast? It's Joe Mazzeo, which is Italian? Or am I doing an inappropriate impersonation and I'm going to get in trouble? Oh my God.
Italian heritage, but my wife, my kids are Mexican. I've been in Mexico for 17 years, so.
Right. See, I remember when we played together, but you go ahead. You remember? Oh my gosh, you did such a great job. I'm sitting here and I know it, but it's fun to see it or hear it through somebody else's lens.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like even just sitting here, you're saying you're working all the time, but come on, look at this backdrop.
Can't complain. There's definitely worse places to be.
Exactly.
No.
I never can complain about work because everybody sees me if I'm on Zoom or we're having a meeting that they see this is my background.
Absolutely.
We are so excited for this, but as I hear your spiel, all I'm thinking is, of course we want Ocean Blue in there. Of course we want Engel and Volker Snell Real Estate in there. And I heard a Pro-Am. How does one get involved in being able to play in the Pro-Am if one were to want to play in the Pro-Am that hosts a podcast?
So the Pro-Am, as for those that maybe don't know among your audience, the Pro-Am in golf, for those of us that are mere mortals, that aren't on the level of a professional or the best in the world, the best players in the world, the Pro-Am is the opportunity to share the stage with the pros for a day. Every week on the PGA Tour, we run a professional amateur event where sponsors, VIPs, celebrities, whatnot, play the day before the professional competition with the professionals. And it's really the greatest experience that you can have in golf. Because unlike playing NFL football or NBA basketball,
you can't play with them,
or soccer, you can't really compete. Whereas in golf, that's the beauty of our game, is that no matter your level, no matter your age, whether you're a 6, 7, 8-year-old child or an 85-year-old individual, you can still get around the golf course and have an incredible experience and be together with someone who's on a different sort of skill level. So Pro-Ams are great, not just for the golf, but for the networking, for the experience, for the fun, and also for the course itself. Playing El Cardenal is a treat whenever you get to do it.
It's fab.
But this place is going to be in incredible shape. We're obviously sort of tapering it so that it gets to its peak condition right for tournament time. So playing on Wednesday before the tournament, you're going to see a golf course that is absolutely impeccable. So for a golfer, that experience in and of itself is great. You throw in a PGA Tour professional with you, that makes it even better. The weather's going to be great. It's the first week in November. All the excitement, all the energy, the grandstands, the hospitality, the signage, the TV, everything is there. It's just a really cool experience. You get to be a pro for a day, really, in the Pro-Am.
Oh my gosh. And so how would somebody get to be invited or sponsor or pay?
So a lot of the Pro-Am is occupied by our corporate sponsors. Of course, our title sponsor is Worldwide Technology. We'll talk about them in a moment, I'm sure. Our host venue, Diamante, our corporate partners, groups like Rolex, Mercedes-Benz, Scotiabank, and many, many others. A lot of them occupy, and it's invitations that they have for their executives, for their clients, for their customers. Obviously, there are a number of some other other teams that we do have available that can be purchased for individuals that are looking, hey, I want to come out, I'm a local Cabo resident, or I have my house, or I'm another golf club, I want to bring down some people and entertain them and invite them and host them. There's certainly that opportunity that we can do. By all means, reach out to us. Our information's on our tournament website. I know you guys will share our social channels.
Of course.
Reach out to us, get in touch, and we'll contact with anybody that's interested. Of all your audience, I know there's probably some very keen golfers,
100%.
some very VVIPs among the audience that we'd love to have out here for the Pro-Am.
They would love to do it.
Absolutely.
I've played in one Pro-Am before.
Nice.
And it was so fun and intimidating. Like you said, in any other sport, you don't have the chance to be shoulder to shoulder and actually play the game. You're not going to go and hit, tennis balls with Nadal. That's not going to happen.
And maybe you could, if you had Nadal at your house, but it's going to be at your house.
Right.
You're not going to be hitting balls with Nadal at Roland Garros the day before the French Open.
Yes.
You're not going to go and shoot buckets with LeBron in the middle of the Staples Center right before the game starts. And that's what playing a Pro-Am is.
It is, and to have all of this here, honestly, we say as locals, but we are so excited. It's all anybody could talk about. First, everybody was doing the hush-hush. PGA Tournament's coming here. The WWTC's coming here. Where are they going to play? Oh my gosh, I saw them at this golf course, that golf course, blah, 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 blah,
the
blah.
paparazzi following us.
You have no idea.
Well,
and then when it was announced for Diamante, everybody was really, really excited.
Yeah. No, and that is true. When we were looking for where the event would take place for going forward, of course, Los Cabos springs to your mind, because when you think of golf in Mexico, you think of Cabo. Let's be honest. The Riviera Maya in Cancun has some great golf courses. There's other great golf courses all around the country of Mexico, but nowhere is there a concentration of as many great golf courses and as many great clubs. Because we're not just talking about courses, we're talking about clubs that have these really wonderful memberships where people are a part of it.
Community.
They feel the community, they feel the connection. And that's been something that's been really a nice sort of welcome sort of element to us, which is all the people. The members that are at Diamante, or members at Carencia, or members at Chileno that have reached out to us that are excited for it. Because it's one thing to have a good golf course, it's another to have a good golf club. And so Cabo, anybody that knows golf knows Cabo is the golf destination for Mexico. And so we really kind of knew, hey, that's where we need to go, and let's see. But we were a little skeptical, maybe not skeptical, but wondering which golf course would the infrastructure, the layout of the track, the layout of the golf course itself, the terrain, the topography sort of set up for what we do. Because a golf tournament on the PGA Tour scale is a lot more than just 132 guys going and playing golf. You have a television broadcast and all the infrastructure that comes with that. You have a large spectator footprint, a hospitality footprint. You have a large footfall of people that get around the golf course. You have to have the players walk. The professionals, of course, walk on the PGA Tour. You don't drive a golf cart. So there are some golf courses where it's not really passable on foot, or it's extremely long distances. And so that was one of our, concerns was, we know we're going to find great golf courses. We know we're going to find great appetite for this event, but what about some of those intangibles? And when we came to Diamante, we saw the Dunes, which is just an absolutely spectacular golf course. And we said, wow, this would be a wonderful thing. Visually striking, would be awesome for the television broadcast. Very challenging, great golf course. Pros would love playing it. But the Dunes is a little difficult to get around in some ways. Some of the dunes are harder to cross. So you put spectators out there by the thousands and have them go walk. The Dunes course might be a little difficult for that. Then we came over and we saw El Cardinal. And we had a lot of the similar things, the striking views of the ocean from every inch of the property, from every inch of the golf course. The challenge of the course that Tiger created, the style. You've got that feel of the Cabo golf with the deserts, the arroyos, the vegetation. But it's also really accessible on foot. So for the professionals, we won't have any shuttles from green to tee. They can walk every hole perfectly without a problem, which is better than we maybe even expected, and better than at a lot of other venues. And then also just the proximity of everything. The first hole, the 9th hole, the 10th hole, the 18th hole, they're all right by the clubhouse. They're a 30-second walk from one to the other. So people can get around really easily, both from the competition and from the spectators. The terrain itself is relatively easy to walk. So you think about a spectator that wants to go and follow their favorite player. Hey, I'm a massive fan of, I don't know, Ricky Fowler. I want to go and follow Ricky Fowler for 18 holes. You can go and do that like you would at most professional tournaments and walk with him the entire round and keep up and not have to go up and down a mountain and all over. That's why El Cardinal works out so great. And then you layer in, oh, by the way, that guy Tiger Woods, who designed the place, that name is kind of a nice thing, a little bit of a big deal. So we're just totally pumped, totally honored, really. Me, it's almost humbling and a little intimidating again, thinking about the greatest of all time, Tiger Woods, designing his very first golf course that ever came online, and this will be the very first time that the PGA Tour plays on a course that he designed. That's a really cool historic feat for the players. Whoever the champion ends up being, that's going to be a really cool historic thing. And for all of us that are involved with putting it on, that's a pretty neat thing to be able to say, this is the first time a Tiger-designed course is going to host the tour. So there's a lot that goes into it. Hopefully that explains a little bit of how we got to El Cardinal.
God, that is so exciting. It's so fun to be a spectator. Too. Just when you're walking around and you feel almost like you can touch them.
Yeah.
You're that close. The rope is right there, but you can literally, you're watching them. You hear them mumble to their caddies, right? What they're talking about. And you can hear the wind, you know, just the sound of the golf club whipping.
There is.
That click. My God.
It really gives you an appreciation for the power and the skill and the talent that these players have. You know, we all know players that are good players at our club or that we've played with. You look, oh, that's a good player. And no disrespect to our friends that are good players or single-digit handicaps or even scratch players. The guys on the tour, it is just a whole nother stratosphere of talent. And like you said, the sound, there's some players. Cameron Champ, I don't know if you know that name. Cameron Champ's a young guy. He's won on the tour a couple times. He's not that young anymore, in his mid-20s now. He has one of the most impressive, amazing sounds you'll ever see. His action on his speed, because he's just such a tall, lanky, strong, flexible guy. The sound, Vanessa, you hit it right on the head.
Oh my God, I'm going to totally watch him.
But here's what I want to say. Bringing it back to the Worldwide Technology Championship. One of the things that's so cool about our event is we're in Mexico. We're in Cabo. And we expect a very nice crowd, a very good crowd of people are going to come out here. But
you will have it.
But this is still an event that always has a very intimate feel to it. This is not, if you've been to the US Open or the Phoenix Open or some of these other events where there are dozens upon dozens of thousands of people on the golf course, it's an amazing experience. Those are great events. But sometimes you feel like you're lost in a sea of humanity and you're trying to get up close to see a player, see a shot. It's nearly impossible. We're going to have a great crowd out here at Diamante. We're already seeing that in the ticket sales and the response that we've gotten. But it's still going to always have that intimate atmosphere. So what you're saying about that sound, people that come to this event, they're going to be able to get right up on that rope line, right up on the tee box, and they're going to be able to be close to those players, see it, experience it, feel it. Because no matter how big we get, we're still, Cabo is a small town relative to Phoenix or Los Angeles or Charlotte, North Carolina or Miami or New York or what have you. So we're always going to have that really cool, intimate atmosphere that makes for a special experience, different than other tour events.
I totally agree. And it's so fun. How did you even get started in the golf world? Did you play golf as a kid?
I did not. I didn't play golf as a kid. I went to the University of Arizona, future Big 12 powerhouse, no longer Pac-12, but hey, that's another topic for another podcast. That'll be on the Joe Mazzeo podcast. We'll talk college football and college sports. But anyways,
I'm not even the first person to call you the Maz.
You are not the first person to call me Maz. Please.
I thought it was going to go viral.
You can take credit if you like.
I will take credit. Okay.
How did I get into golf? I went to the University of Arizona at the same time as quite possibly the greatest, or definitely one of the greatest female golfers of all time, Lorena Ochoa, Mexico's own Lorena Ochoa. So she and I were in college at the same time, and I, by pure luck, got hooked up with the golf teams and began working. I always wanted to work in sports. I knew that's what I was going to do, and by sheer luck, got hooked up with the golf teams. And of course, Lorena had an incredible college career. She had an incredible everything career. So I did a lot of publicity and PR and operations and different things for the golf teams at the University of Arizona. One of our athletes won the U.S. Amateur while I was there, so that was a big thing. So, and then you know how business and life and careers are. One thing leads to another. You get a little experience, you meet somebody, you do this, you do that. Ran different kinds of golf tournaments, and then PGA Tour came to Mexico in 2007. I moved down in August of 2006, and here we are, just a couple of years
later. Bada bing, bada boom, as they say.
Now, whenever I go back to the United States, I'll bring a family with me. They weren't part of the move down, but they'll be part of the move up if there's ever a move back up, which who knows if
No. You know what? This is everybody's second, third, fourth, fifth home.
Well, hey.
Come on, join us.
I'm just worried about the first home right now, and that's here for now, so we're pumped.
I'm
awesome.
not good as you know, but I am obsessed with the game ever since I started, because like you said, and you were so gracious, by the way, you don't remember.
Nah,
I'll tell the story.
She doesn't believe that I remember.
No, but that's okay.
Well, tell the story. I might not remember some details, so I'm excited about the story. Lay it on us.
No, there's not really a great story. It was just that you were so gracious about describing, and like how you did today, that golf is a game for everyone, whether you're, the kid or for any handicap. And that's why you made me feel really confident playing with you and with the other teams, because I felt like, even though I was not great, I had a couple of great shots. That's still my game, unfortunately, 7 years later. But it's fun to play, and it is something where you can socialize and rub shoulder to shoulder with somebody. Or like I said, I played in that Pro-Am, and that level, and the level of calm. Yeah. That's the thing. I'm the one that's, amped up, and I just want to swing too hard and all of that. But the level of calm with a real professional player, I love watching them walk from hole to hole, because I'm just obsessing about what are they thinking.
No, there's so much.
Don't you think it's so interesting? And do you feel like it's half mind game as well as mental, as well as physical, your skill set?
100%. I mean, it's absolutely psychological, mental. The guys that have the right frame of mind to be a golfer, you often see that coming through, and it's what helps to make them successful. Look at Victor Hovland. Victor Hovland won our tournament twice in back-to-back years, 2020 and 2021, and he just won the FedEx Cup, which is the season-long competition of points over the course of the entire season, and Victor was the FedEx Cup champion. But Victor is a young man, same mid-20s. He's been a pro for probably 3 or 4 years now, and has found a lot of success. But he has one of the best mentalities that I think any of us, regardless of our field or our profession or our job, could learn a lot from him, because Victor's a guy who's always got a smile on his face. He's always positive. Even when he struggled, you can still see him, which he hasn't struggled very much because he's kicking butt. But even when he's had a bad round or a bad shot, you see him with that mentality. And I think that type of attitude is so valuable, especially in golf, because the most important shot in golf is always the next shot. It doesn't matter what you've done or where you are.
Words of wisdom.
It's how are you going to execute that next shot.
Oh, so true.
And so, mentally, psychologically, golfers are always sort of looking for that edge to stay focused, to not let the past bother them, to not, hey, I messed up on that last hole. But you know what? The next hole is a fresh start. You're going to start again. And are you going to make another big mistake and blow up and really ruin your tournament? Or are you going to get it right back on? But it's also a physical game too.
It is. Obviously, you have to have talent.
You got to have them both.
You have to have them both. But I think that golf and poker teach you incredible life lessons.
Yep.
That you have to persevere.
Yep.
That you have if you have a chip in a chair, or you're in the tournament, you have every ability and right to win, just as anybody else, and nobody else can help you.
Yep.
Only you can get yourself out of it. Half of it is a mind game. Other players, whether you're playing golf or poker, might intimidate you, and it's in your head. Not obsessing when you get down on your stack, or when you hit it out of bounds, or when you're doing too well. Because sometimes when you do too well, you can also start to let it slack off.
Sure.
Don't you think?
No, totally.
I think it is do you find that most golfers have life coaches, or what does the team look like? Just for us that are in the normal world of golf.
Yeah.
To be a real professional player, what kind of team do they have around them?
Every player is different. The different guys have sort of different needs or preferences in sort of how they surround themselves. Obviously, every player has a caddy, which we all know, familiar with the caddy, who's on the golf course during the round, carries the clubs, is the person that you consult with during the round and says, which way should we go? This way, how are we going to play it? Which way does the putt break? How should we attack this hole? Should we go for it? Should we lay up? And each player uses their caddy to a different level. We find now that a lot of caddies are incredible players in their own right. Long gone are the days of the caddy who's just the guy who you told to show up, keep up, and shut up. That is long gone. A caddy is an integral part of the team and just as much a part of the success as anyone. So that's the first part. Beyond that, you have, whether it's a swing coach, whether it's a putting coach, whether it's a short game coach, whether it's a mental coach, whether it's a physical physical coach, whether it's a trainer, whether it's a physical therapist. There's all these different elements that go into it. Some guys have their own statistician. Golf, much like many other sports today, baseball, of course, made it famous with Moneyball and Billy Beane and the Oakland A's and looking at stats and the way sort of approach it. We see it in everything now. Golf is the same way. What should we be doing here? Which way do the stats and the odds favor us? And so there's a lot of guys that are really into that gives them that tiny little bit of an advantage, because even the smallest advantage of just knowing the probability of how much something is happening the way a golf course is playing gives a guy a little bit of a leg up. And that little bit of a leg up might be the difference between winning a golf tournament and finishing second, making the cut or missing the cut. So all of those elements, coaches on all different parts of the game, swing coach, of course, is critical. Mental coach is also very critical. And then their bodies. I mean, I think there's a lot of athletes in golf that deserve a lot of, not credit, but the recognition for sort of pioneering the way in terms of physical fitness. But Tiger Woods, of course, was, I think, the biggest and the most. I mean, just the physical sort of way that he approached the game, and still does, even though he's not playing as much now, really set, I think, an example that you see now in all of these younger guys. There's so many incredible athletes. You look at them and you see them and you say, wow, that guy could be playing basketball or playing tennis or baseball. The way they're so physically gifted, and the way they work out, and the muscle and the definition and the flexibility that's all there. It's not just, again, the old long days of, the guy with the big beer belly and he's the old golfer that we all see at our club or whatever. That's not, I mean, these guys are incredible athletes, and that's going back to the sound that we were talking about, the impact and the way that these, the way that you just watch and observe them, the flexibility, the rotation, the speed that they generate.
It's so fun to watch.
It's all athleticism. And I think Tiger is really the one who, of course, like so many things in the game of golf, was far and away the best at it and the first at it, being so good that way.
Do you have a player that you have watched over the years that you look at the most besides Tiger for as an example of something that you'd like to achieve? Like Tiger, for me, just set a precedent for everything. I mean, you could go on and on and on. Like you said, I mean, he changed the game in so many ways, and even from a physical standpoint, being physically fit. And even, again, I'll attribute it to poker, a lot of the top professionals aren't the ones that are sitting around and, drinking a lot or, drinking all night. It is a mental, physical game. And so it really has changed, and it's worldwide as well. But are there players in particular that you think, gosh, I really like to watch him or her because?
I mean, that's a great question.
Who has a great swing that you like?
I mean, there's so many players that have.
Besides Cameron and the sound.
There's so many players that have a great swing. I think, you're putting me on the spot.
I am putting you on the spot.
Guys that I really enjoy. There are all so many of them for different reasons. I mean, I already mentioned about Viktor Hovland. I mean, Viktor is a guy who, we talked about his attitude and his mentality, the way he approaches it. You've got younger players that are kind of coming along that have maybe, how shall we say, the formation has always been there. They've been great golfers their entire life, and you see it, and it's almost like you can tell and look, and they were born for this. A young man like Austin Eckroat is the name of a young player. He's not yet won on the PGA Tour, but he went to Oklahoma State, a great player. He's played in our event a number of times, and he's a star in the making. But he's a guy, you look at him, and it's almost like he's straight out of Central Casting in terms of just, he's a good-looking kid, plays great. You can tell he's a professional's professional. So someone like that is a player who I really enjoy. Another one, Keith Mitchell. Keith is a guy who is a class act. Keith has won on the PGA Tour. Keith is a veteran. Keith kind of knows the way around. He's got a confidence about him that is really magnetic to a lot of people. But then you take and you think about some other guys, and there's all these different styles of player, from the different type of physical, but also the way that they play their game. A guy like Fred Funk. Fred Funk is playing, he's older now. Fred Funk won the inaugural event for us 17 years ago. And Fred is an individual who didn't drive the ball very far, still doesn't. He's a shorter hitter, always has been. But Fred had an extremely successful, extremely lucrative career because of the way he played to his strengths, and which was keep the ball in the fairway, be accurate with your irons, and make some putts. Doesn't matter that these kids that are 15, 20, 25 years younger than him when he was still playing were out there blowing it 100 yards by him. Fred had a game that worked. So it's all those kinds of different things. You asked, is there any player that I would love to be able to do like they did. And I would say any of them, because my golf game is nowhere near anywhere that it should be, or I would love it to be, or want it to be.
How often do you
but
play?
I would love to be able to hit one ball, like drive once, just and have just that feeling of,
You've had it though.
No,
Come on,
I play
hit
golf.
one time.
I play golf, not that often.
How often?
Right now, I'd say, well, when was the last time I played golf? It's been like 2 months since I last played.
Okay.
2 months.
Okay.
So people think when you work in golf, you work at a golf course or you work on a PGA Tour event, that we pretty much play golf all day long, every day, and that's what we do. And oh, by the way, every once in a while we have a phone call or something. No. If you want to ever give up the game of golf and stop playing golf, if you ever need to quit, I suggest you get a job working in golf, because we don't hardly ever play, because we're always around. You're always running around doing things at the golf course, taking care of everything, taking care of everybody else. And it's okay, because I love what I do, and all of us that are in golf love what we do around it. But when it comes to truly actually teeing it up and playing 18 holes, I don't get to play nearly as often as you'd think or as I'd like.
What's a memorable shot? I have one time. No, it was one time. I hit a drive 266, and I was with a girlfriend of mine, and we were just like, oh my gosh. And it's one shot, and it's that one shot for me that keeps me going, like I can do it again. And when just everything comes together, you felt it
Sure.
in the body, the whipping sound in the air, and then that click, the swing through. I wasn't watching the ball. I mean, I just, like, everything came together in that moment. For me, it was that one drive in my life, and I just loved it. For you, do you have one shot that you made?
Sure, I do. I remember it very well. It was many years ago. I holed out from like 160 yards in a fairway on a par 4, so I holed out for an eagle 2. Hit the ball great, pure, felt awesome. I knew I'd hit a good shot. It was on the line. It was great. Didn't see it go in because the green was slightly elevated, so we could see the flag, but we couldn't see the hole. And I thought I'd hit it really good. I was like, that's going to be good. And the other guys in the group finished playing, and we drive up, and I don't see it. And I'm like, man, I didn't hit it as good as I thought. I must have flown the green. And so I'm in the back, there was some, back behind the green, there was ice plants. It was in Central California. And I'm starting traipsing through this ice plant right on this flag, looking for my ball 20 yards kind of behind the hole off the green. Not finding it. The guys are kind of starting to help me look. And one other guy kind of walks up to the hole. He looks, he's like, it's in the hole.
Oh,
and
my gosh.
So that's the best shot I think I've ever hit.
That's a good one.
Never had a hole in one, but I've holed out from 160 from the fairway. So
that is awesome. I've never had a hole in one either, and I have friends of mine that are homeowners here, and the husband has hit 2 hole-in-ones, and she's hit 3.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. They're in their 80s, still golf.
There you go.
Zipping around with me, and it just, but this is the love of the game, because they are older.
Yep.
They still play. Like, even my grandmother, she doesn't play anymore, she's 98, but my dad used to say, she may not hit it far, but she hits it dead on. My tiny little Japanese grandma. Exactly, and I'm the complete opposite. I try to hit as hard as I can on the drive, just to get it as close as I can. It's my fairway shots that I just, I got to work on. But it is this love, it's this drive. I never get frustrated. I just think, I want to do it again and again. Give me that next chance.
But what other sport can you play with your grandchildren or play with your grandparents or whatever sort of combination of generations and get out there and everybody actually be participating and enjoying it?
I think that's a really good point, and it's really, the golf world has changed with more women playing, younger people playing. What kind of things, other trends do you see emerging because of the game? Well,
I think the diversity in the game of golf is a great thing, and both on sort of all different levels. But the biggest thing that I think is exciting is economic diversity in the game of golf. For the longest time, golf was a very elite sport where you pretty much only could play if you were a member of a private club, which is extremely expensive and cost prohibitive. In Mexico, still a lot of places, a lot of cities only have private golf courses. In Cabo and a lot of the tourism destinations, we're fortunate that the golf courses are public. There are great initiatives like the First Tee, including the incredible First Tee chapter at Diamante, that are introducing the game of golf to young people, to kids of all socioeconomic backgrounds. And I think that's our key as the game of golf, is not to just rely on those of us that are around the game of golf or that have played it our entire lives, but to be sharing this sport with everybody else. Because if we don't, the game is going to die out. The golf courses are going to not be developed as much and not going to be where we are. We're not going to have as many people tuning in and watching and participating. So that's our key, is to continue to grow the audience of people that are playing golf. The pandemic, one of the very, very few things that turned to be positive from this pandemic was that more people started getting outside, doing things. A lot more people picked up playing golf during the pandemic. A lot more people played golf more often. The rounds of golf spiked. So taking advantage of that by being sure that we're sharing the game of golf with everyone. The first tee chapter here at Diamante is awesome, awesome, awesome. I've been able to go a couple of Saturdays and watch it. And the way that our friends from Diamante, our dear friend Jim Panoff, who's the founder and sort of the president of the first tee here, what they've created for all these people, these young people that come from backgrounds that maybe are less fortunate to get out here, to be at this beautiful place like Diamante, to have incredible golf instruction. Not just instruction, but just what is golf, and the values that go along with it. All the first tee values of honesty, truth, hard work, determination, getting that to these young kids.
Yes.
That is so awesome. Something that I, quite honestly, am so proud that we get to be just a little part of that by being here at Diamante. We're going to do some really cool stuff during the PGA Tour tournament with the first tee kids to create some very special experiences for them, to meet some of the professionals. Some of the Spanish-speaking pros are going to come. We're going to do a clinic for some of these kids and really just kind of celebrate that and just continue to get them more and more energized and engaged. And how amazing would it be if years from now, forget about becoming professional golfers, because that would be awesome, but that's not the most important thing. If some of these kids coming through a first tee chapter like here at Diamante end up getting a job because they're able to go and play golf with someone and they're on a golf course with a businessman, and it opens a door that then gives them an opportunity to further their careers or to get started, or they end up working in golf. I would love it if years from now, the person that takes my job is a young kid who learned about golf through the first tee and said, I want to be involved in that. Maybe I'm not physically talented to be a pro, but you can be a golf professional at a club, you can run tournaments, you can work for a merchandise company. There's all these opportunities and all these values and all these things that the first tee is putting into these kids that is really special. So, like I said, we're going to have some cool stuff during tournament week, and hopefully these kids have a really special week too.
Oh my gosh, they will. And it's so cute to see kids play. But people, when you actually take a step back and you think of the kind of economic world and the way golf in and of itself has an impact on so many lives, just even a golf charity tournament.
Sure.
Forget the PGA.
Yeah.
But when you're in a golf charity tournament, you're paying and donating to a foundation, you're networking with business-minded people, or socializing with your friends.
Sure.
And it's all for a great cause. And you're right, it is those touch points that end up getting you to that next person and that next person. But I love the fact that you talked about honor. Golf is such a game of honor, respect, honesty, and so again, I think it just teaches you these great, great life lessons.
I completely agree with you on that, and for these young people, all of those things, it's refreshing to see that happen. And like I said, I've been able to come and see the first tee in action several times, and it just blows you away. It takes your breath away. Yeah, you mentioned something that I wanted to mention on. You talked about charity tournaments and whatnot. Something that I think is really special about the PGA Tour and the week after week is there's two things. The economic impact that one of these events provides is massive. Of course, the television broadcast gets you visibility of Cabo and Mexico all over the world, because people tune in, they see, oh, that's a beautiful place. What is that? Oh, look at these, there's Victor Hovland, there's Ricky Fowler, there's the players. Where is that? Oh, wow. So you have the promotional. But the economic impact beyond the promotional impact is massive in terms of how many people come into town that otherwise wouldn't be here for the tournament. They're sleeping somewhere, they're staying in hotels, they're spending money on transportation, food, beverage, excursion, all these things. So the economic impact simply from the visitors is massive. But then you layer onto that all of the spend that goes in. We as organizers of the event, everything that we've got to do, looking for local vendors, whether that be printing signs and building out the golf course, food, the audio visual, all these different kinds of vendors that we require, all of that spend that goes into it. Golf Channel and the production to produce the television broadcast requires a massive amount of infrastructure and expense. So all that money goes into the local community, creates jobs, has secondary spending, creates more jobs. So we're really proud of that and the impact that will have. But then you take just the economic impact and you go away from that and you think about charity. Charity, the PGA Tour in its history has given given more money to charitable causes than the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NHL combined. So the PGA Tour is very proud, more than $3 billion in its history of money that they've done. And we, as a tournament, in our own humble way, are also very proud to contribute and support local charities, something that we'll continue to do. We're already doing it with the first tee, making sure that program, it's obviously extremely well organized and well funded, but how can we help them and support even more other groups? So there's just so much that goes into golf philanthropically, and all these sort of different foundations. So we're really excited and honored with that kind of stuff.
I didn't know that about the PGA tournament because for me, philanthropy is a very, very important thing in my life because I feel we're very fortunate. I mean, look, we're working and look at this backdrop. And if we have the opportunity, and the reality is you, me, whomever, we all have the opportunity to touch, connect, do something. And so giving back is a really important thing in my life, and so being able to do that, especially for a place that's turned into my home, you know what I mean? And so the idea, like for me, of course I'm so excited for the PGA. I'm obsessed to be able to do that. And the economic impact is not just though during the week. So you can imagine what that legacy is, that snowball effect, that perpetual growth that's going to happen in this area in Cabo with our locals and more jobs and just the economic stimulation, I think, for another segment, I would say, of people in Los Cabos, Mexico, is something I'm really excited about. So, and it does also give us a way to figure out how to invite and give back. And I love the idea of kids being able to be involved.
Absolutely.
How do you see yourself kind of leaving a mark and you're in charge of golf and events and all of that, but I can hear the passion of sports, obviously, from you. What sport, if you didn't play golf, did you play growing up?
I played every sport growing up.
But golf?
I was exactly, good point. I was one of those kids back in our day where you played whatever sport was in season. It wasn't like this sort of specialization that we see now. So yeah, I played baseball in the springtime and, I was on the swim team. I played water polo. I'm from Southern California. So swimming, water polo, volleyball were big. I played football, soccer, basketball. I mean, I did everything.
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Except
golf. You're right. Except golf.
And at what age did you play golf for the first time?
I would have been 18, 19 years old when I actually began working at a golf course one summer as a recent high school graduate. I worked at a golf course and began playing, and then, we already talked about Lorena and all that stuff, and here I am just a few years later, still really bad at it.
And what's your handicap?
My handicap
Are you going to put that out to the entire audience? Are you under 10? Are you between 10 and 15?
We'll just say that whenever I get a chance to play again with you, you can judge that, or when your audience can come. I'm not gonna brag, and I'm also not gonna embarrass.
Oh my God, it's gonna be scratch.
I said I'm not gonna brag, nor am I going to embarrass myself. So I'll just leave that at that. It could go either way.
The Maz. So first of all, let me just say congratulations. It is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Do you guys have a singer, Mark Anthony, whomever, Beyonce before a concert? They huddle together. They say a little something. They have their own little ritual. What do you guys do as a team when you're about to kick off your latest PGA tournament, right here in Los Cabos, first time, Tiger Woods golf course? Do you have a ritual that you think you'll start or that you do?
So one of the things that we used to do, for those that maybe are familiar with the Mayan world, there's a tradition that when the weather is important to you and you don't want rain, you clavar cuchillos. You sort of stick knives into the ground. So we've done that a lot of times. Sometimes it worked in the Caribbean, sometimes it didn't work for us, but we still would try to do it. I don't know that that's going to need to be our tradition here because obviously Cabo is blessed with that incredible weather. Knock on wood, of course, because anything can happen. So we're going to have to figure it out. It might have to do something with with tigers or animals or something, given that Tiger in
honor of, oh my gosh.
The designer of the golf course. We'll see, but I've got an incredible team, wonderful people led by a young lady named Melina Diaz, who's my right hand, a lot of other great people that are on the team that are working extremely hard right now to pull everything together. It's always a big challenge the first time. that you do this, especially first time in a new market. We're very fortunate to have just an incredible host venue. Our friends from Diamante starting at the top with Ken Jowdy, who's of course the developer and the CEO, Mike Abbott, who runs sort of everything having to do with golf and the tournament on behalf of Diamante, and their whole team from the top all the way down to the bottom have been spectacular, opening the doors for us, helping us navigate through Cabo as we kind of learn what's what, but also just the passion, the energy, the excitement, and they've been great partners. Beyond that, I mentioned Fiturca a little bit ago, Rodrigo Esponda, our friend from Visit Los Cabos, their support as well in that same way of navigating the local, I don't want to say market, but sort of the local community and the authorities and government and Cabo and the municipio and everything has been great. So their support has been critical. But then also the most important piece of this, we haven't really talked too much about them, but it can't be left without being said, is the title sponsor.
I was just going to say, title sponsors, it doesn't
Worldwide
happen.
Technology, who's been our title sponsor for 2 years now, is absolutely spectacular. Their support, not just for themselves and their initiative and what they're doing, because obviously it's a business element for them, but the tournament itself and its overall success means so much to them, and they're so critically invested in that. Not just, hey, are our sponsors and our guests and our people being looked after and having a good time, but what about the players? We got to make sure the players are having a great experience, the players' family, the spectators, the caddies, all the other sponsors. For them, having their name on this is so much more than just a marketing initiative to get their name out there. It's that the experience is on a level that's equivalent to what they do as a company. Tech company, very forward thinking, very diverse, very successful, very much a high class, high sort of success operation the way they do things, and they demand that same excellence out of us, which I absolutely love because it just pushes us to get better and better. And so you put all these elements together, this incredible destination, this incredible spot that's just beautiful in Mexico and in Cabo, boom. You take Diamante, this incredible venue with all these amazing homes and hotels and the golf course and the restaurants, and then you throw in the PGA Tour and you top it off with Worldwide Technology and their leadership and their support and their guidance. It's an awesome recipe. We're going to have just an amazing week and hopefully many, many years of amazing weeks.
It will be many, many years. And the other key sponsors that want to get involved in this, I mean, you mentioned several of your other sponsors because it is such a world-class event. I mean, it really is.
Thank you.
So your other key sponsors that you have that have helped you along the way?
No, absolutely. We've got a great group of just incredible companies that value the game of golf, that value the PGA Tour. Rolex, Mercedes-Benz, Scotiabank are some of them, National Car Rental, Maestro Dobel Tequila, many, many great brands that are a part of this event in so many different ways to help support it, because they recognize what the PGA Tour is, they recognize what Mexico, Cabo, and that hospitality aspect is for them and their clients, but also because they want to support something bigger, which is golf, the sport, Mexico, the communities where we play. So we're really fortunate to have some really good partners. Where did you play in Pro-Am? Which tournament did you play in Pro-Am?
It was here, and well, it wasn't Pro-Am, I suppose, but it was in Puerto Los Cabos.
Ah, okay.
And we won.
Aha, well done.
No, because my handicap was too high. And then...
Maybe because your handicap was so high.
No, it was because my handicap was so high.
There you go.
And I had a good day.
There you go.
And it just drives people crazy. I promise you, my handicap is crap. I'm not consistent. I have great shots in a sea of inconsistency. So, sometimes I can hit that insane drive or, knock a putt in, but it's my shots 2 through 10 that hurt me. But this place Cabo is a wonderful place to play golf. I'm going to just leave you with this. A little congratulations, a little early because you're doing all of the work.
Thank you.
To putting some knives, what did you say, a clave?
Clavar los cuchillos, pero yeah.
In the ground, you never know, right? And we love to do something local, anything like that. We want to celebrate Mexico. We want to celebrate Los Cabos, to setting precedents here in the world of golf. And we're hoping that it helps improve and change the landscape in a good way, economically, socially, continuing to maintain our beautiful DNA, because that's really important to us. And then taking Los Cabos to the next level. So thank you so much to you and your team for all the hard work, to Fiturca, to your sponsorships, to the Worldwide Technology Group, to Tiger Woods, Diamante, clearly hosting and doing everything that they're doing, and all of the hard work that you're doing. So we're thrilled to have you. So salud.
Cheers. Gracias.
Gracias.
Salud.
So
I hear you.
We have, so I cannot wait for all of the sounds. So we're now going to do our Mod Pod experience.
All right.
And this one is to guess the name of this famous golfer, and I am Screwed. Okay, so we have 10 of these, I believe. Now, normally, I mentioned poker. I like a little apuesta, a little bit. And then the thing is I also like charities. So mine always go to charity.
Fair enough.
Number one, I have zero willpower when it comes to kids and dogs. Zero. So if I get to play in a golf tournament for kids or dogs, I mean, it's done.
There you go.
It is done.
Good to note.
And then when, you get to bid with the paddle.
No, you can't hold back. I mean, everybody wants
highly
to be,
competitive.
Hey.
I'm Japanese, overachiever, and then if it's for kids or dogs, done all day. So yes. So here we go. Let's do this. We will donate. So on behalf of Ocean Blue, Engel of Okersnell Real Estate, Mod Pod with Fukunaga, we will donate $500 to the charity of your choice, which I'm assuming your charity these days will be a local one.
I think that's spot on.
Okay.
Yeah.
For every one that either one of us gets right.
Ooh,
because the only shot of donating is if you're looking at it. So the idea, we're going to look at the famous golfer. We have 3 choices, and you guess the golfer's name. All right.
Ready?
Yes,
you're
guessing first because you said you knew it.
Yeah.
Just to say who it is.
This is of course Sir Nick Faldo, major champion, former voice of golf on CBS, recently retired. So this is our friend Sir Nick Faldo.
Oh my God. Okay, now we'll go to the next.
Hey, I
Hold
got
on.
it right.
And as my friend Paulina said when we did our podcast, ka-ching.
Ka-ching, ching. So we're going
This
again.
is for me. Okay, actually, I think we should play as a team because otherwise we're never going to donate any money when it's my turn.
Got it.
Okay, so this is either James Braid, Arnold Palmer, or Ben Hogan. Can I guess? But you say the answer?
You please knock it out of the park.
I'm not a mentalist, but your lips were going together, so it kind of looked like you were going to say Ben.
No.
No, I meant Ben is not the one.
No, of course.
It's not Ben. It's not Arnold Palmer. It is James Braid.
Absolutely, the great James Braid.
Ka-ching! Is somebody keeping track?
2 for 2.
2 for 2.
2 for 2. Batting 1,000.
Batting 1,000. Okay. Why do we have James Braid again?
That is correct.
Okay.
Oh,
that's so easy.
That is. But that's a very impressive photo that we've got here. That's kind of old school Fat Phil.
Oh my God! You got that on camera.
A little bit of extra on there, but Phil's in better shape now. But he's no longer playing on the PGA Tour, unfortunately. So we're gonna kind of move on.
That's right. Oh my God, we played.
Going with Phil.
Why? Oh my gosh! Because the answers are next.
This is another good one here.
Oh my God!
You got this.
You know what? We didn't separate between, and I didn't even ask you the controversial.
Controversy, ask away.
Am I allowed to ask the controversial?
Of course.
Okay, we might have to stop.
That's what people want to hear.
That's okay. I was from some golf specialists. They told me not to broach the subject, but tell me your thoughts on Liv.
I think the.
This is a total inside scoop. I'm obsessed with whatever is going to happen and that's going to come out of your mouth because obviously I'm only an amateur, but I live in the golf world.
Sure.
Superintendents, I play all the time. We have 26 golf courses here. It literally is my life. And so I'm dying for the actual inside scoop. Oh my God, hold on, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
So what I would say is the division that has existed in the sport of golf for the last year and a half has not been good for anybody. I think anybody would say that. And the lack of sort of union and sort of different factions that maybe have multiple objectives other than doing what is solely good for the game of golf has been a frustrating thing that's had to exist. That said, the PGA Tour is in a position where it's even stronger than it's ever been of the visibility of the tournaments, the competitive sort of state of the game in terms of all the great players that are there that are playing on the PGA Tour. Rory McIlroy, John Rahm, Patrick Cantlay, Ricky Fowler's had this renaissance, Victor Hovland, Scottie Scheffler. The cast of characters that's out there now is amazing. The tournaments are stronger than ever. The sponsorship of the tour is across the board in a state that it hasn't been in a long, long time. And then now there's obviously the framework agreement with the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia that the PGA Tour is working on what that definitive agreement will be. All of this you can read. I'm not sort of sharing anything that's special. Of course, no one knows what that will be until that's negotiated and where it goes. But having unity in the game of golf again, where there isn't that controversy, will be a good thing. The tour has said, hey, look, by the end of the year is when that agreement should be in place. We'll see. Really, for me and my team, we're focused on our world, which is the Worldwide Technology Championship. We've spent a lot of time talking about how incredible our new home at Diamante and in Los Cabos is, how awesome of a title sponsor we have in Worldwide Technology, what an incredible event it's going to be. And that's really what we're focused on, is making our event the best that it can be, while all the noise and all the other things that maybe have gone on in the game of golf, do your best to not really worry about it, because we've got a great golf tournament that we're fortunate enough to be able to run and operate and have to get to stage every year. That's what we're worried about, and that's what we're focused on.
I love that. So the biggest thing the most important thing that I heard you say, cheers to that, is what is good for the game of golf.
Yep.
Because it is in life, again, kind of life lessons beyond the dollar.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay,
right.
Boom, back to, because we didn't separate out between, and I love how you didn't name the other one. You said that what did you say, the something of Saudi Arabia?
Well, the Public Investment Fund, that's the funding behind all of this stuff.
So good. I don't name other, people.
I mean, whatever.
All right, here we go.
I'm afraid to say it.
Here we go. This is, this is easy. Obviously, even I can get that. Jordan Spieth.
Bravo.
Okay, done.
All
Ka-ching.
Right. What are we, 3 for 3?
Oh my God.
That's a good one.
Oh my gosh, it's a good one.
But I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it for you.
You would say it is Kathy Whitworth. Yes,
Whitworth.
Cheers, ka-ching. Are we right? Oh my gosh, look at that one. Name what are the options?
It's Patricia Jane Berg, Mickey Wright, or Mildred Didrikson. I think it's Mickey Wright.
You do? She looks like a Mildred, but I have no confidence in any of my answers.
Well, let's see.
Do you feel like a 50 peso side bet?
Sure, bring it on.
All right.
You're feeling pretty confident.
I'm feeling she looks like a Mildred, and you think it's a Mickey.
Yeah.
Ready?
Mickey Wright.
Oh man, 50 pesos. Lupita, that's what I usually say. 50 pesos, please.
50 for me, 500 for the kids, because I got another one right.
Is somebody tracking all of this? The kids.
Our boy Brooks.
Give me some peanut gallery commentary.
Brooks just became a father. He and his wife welcomed their first kid, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, little guy.
And as a player, what do you like about him?
Brooks's game is amazing. He's a powerful player. Brooks is a strong guy, hits the ball a mile. He's won 5 major championships and steps up in those biggest events. And that's something I think to be said about the guy, and the mental makeup that he has, that on the biggest stages is when he plays well. It's a bummer we don't see him on the PGA Tour anymore, that he went to live, but hey, he's over there playing his golf over there. We see him in the majors, and that's that. You really wonder what he could do if he were playing against the best players week in and week out on the PGA Tour. But it's awesome to see him in the majors, and of course, won the PGA Championship. So, incredibly talented guy, great game, powerful game.
Your favorite.
Yep,
She's wonderful.
She's an incredible human being. I'll tell you a story about her. So Lorena Ochoa. So Lorena Ochoa went to the University of Arizona. She was going to turn professional after the NCAA championship in whatever year it was. I don't remember, 2004. No, not even, like 2001 or something. And it was in Seattle, Washington, and so we had set up a press conference. All the media was there, and we were going to do the press conference the morning after the NCAA championship final round. And we were working on the press release, and so I was part of my responsibility. So I wrote the press release, and I had to include a quote, I think from her, surely, and then from the golf coach. And I wrote a quote from the coach. They say, hey, what do you think about this quote? Does it work? And he's like, no, change it to this. And it was something about like, Lorena, as great of a player as she, basically the gist of the quote was like, she's an amazing player, the best college golfer that you've ever seen that's ever played college golf, women's college golf. but she's an even better person than that, and like da 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 da. And I was like, Greg, that's what you want to say? And he's like, absolutely. I was like, okay, awesome, because we all know that's true, but like the pro and the golf and turning professional. He's like, no, Lorena, her biggest thing, her biggest legacy will be her as a person and her personality. No matter how much she wins and how much she does in golf, her personality and the way that she treats people is what she should be remembered for, and that's what I want my quote about her to be. And I said, Greg, that is awesome. Greg was the golf coach, and that's awesome. We put that in, and we had the press conference, and Lorena was tearful because she was leaving, and she was so emotional. It was awesome. It was a beautiful thing. And then she went out and became a pro and won.
Knocked it out of the park.
Number one, put Mexico on top of the world. Number one golfer in the world was from Mexico. It was a really, really cool thing, and she's a superstar in the country and as a person.
Beloved.
So awesome. I'm fortunate that I went to college with her and knew her way back when and still see her.
Of course.
It's a tough one.
What a way to end.
It's a tough one here. I don't know.
What a way to end.
I'm not sure on that one.
How perfect. Now, for sure, we've talked a little bit about it, but tell me something that you think that nobody else would know about Tiger.
No, not that no one else would know it, because a lot of people know it, but he's building another golf course here at Diamante.
That's something that not everybody knows. So he has...
The legacy course is in construction. It's going to be the third course here at Diamante, a different experience.
Why is it a different experience?
So the Dunes course is built out on the dunes. It's very much a links style golf course. The terrain out there, you almost feel like you're sort of in Scotland in the desert.
You know Troy was
filmed out there on the big dunes, absolutely, Brad Pitt. So you got the Dunes course, that sort of style. Then you have El Cardinal, which is a Southern California inspired, sort of Tiger said. It's kind of tried to make it so that it would remind him of the courses he grew up playing on. But the arroyos, the desert vegetation, sort of the slopes and everything that goes with it. And then the legacy course is going to be a lush green environment. Our friends from Diamante have been kind enough to share a lot with me as they're developing, and I understand about the golf course, but very lush, lots of water features out there, very well vegetated, well landscaped in terms of flowers, colors, green. It's going to be very much a different sort of environment than what you see on El Cardinal, which is desert with the brown and the arroyos and the cactus, and different from the dunes. So you have three very distinct golf experiences. So for the individual that becomes a member at the private legacy course, you're going to be able to play all three of these and have just such a unique, diverse experience when you play golf at Diamante. It's going to be really cool.
How fun. That is true.
Tiger's building it. So that's not something that nobody would know, but not a lot of people would know.
Everybody knows.
The legacy course.
The legacy course right here at Diamante. Well, Jojo, the Maz. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your time. And to check out this episode and all your favorite Mod Pod with Fukunaga episodes, check out all your favorite podcast channels. Salut.
Thanks for listening to Mod Pod with Fukunaga. Follow the episodes on all major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and many more.